Tales of Lieutenant Joe Kenda. First, a vicious stabbing in the parking lot of a biker bar.
His friend lying there, practically bleeding to death.
We have information about two different vehicles, one a motorcycle, one a pickup truck.
But an apparent abduction raises the stakes even higher.
The people in the pickup scooped up a small boy.
The child's safety is everything. He is volatile, he is dangerous, is instinctually assaultive.
Then, there's more to a murder suspect's motive than meets the eye.
We thought that the things that he said Jim did didn't happen, that he only imagined them.
He is claiming self-defense. Maybe that's true, and maybe it isn't. Lots of things potentially come into play when humans interact. These things are very quick. Seconds are involved. Not minutes, not hours, none of that. It's right now, up close and nasty.
There's one thing that never changes. Murder. A life has been taken. Their stories are now my stories. I never know where a case is going to lead, but I'll never stop until it's solved. Somebody has to look out for the victim. If you kill, I will find you.
It's a warm summer evening in Colorado Springs. Patrons of a watering hole known as the Bank Shot are making the most of happy hour.
You guys ready for another round?
No, we're good for now, thanks.
The Bank Shot was a local bar on the north end of Colorado Springs.
It was your typical Wednesday early evening. It was happy hour. People were stopping by for a drink after work.
Hey, you taking advantage of that weather?
We sure are.
Nice. I'll enjoy it, because that snow will be here before you know it.
Don't remind me.
Paul! Need some help out here. Something's happened in the parking lot. Oh my God!
The bartender sees that it's his friend lying there, practically bleeding to death.
Mike! What the hell happened?
Gonna be okay.
Go call an ambulance!
Stay with me.
You gotta stay with me, Mike.
Got help coming.
Meanwhile, across town, Lieutenant Joe Kenda is getting ready to call it a day.
Yeah, I'm just finishing with a few things. I should be out here any minute now.
On this particular evening, I was actually getting off work at the correct time, and my wife was making dinner for the entire family.
Danny, leave your sister alone.
Sounds like you got your hands full there.
I need you to come relieve me.
All right, well, I should be there in about...
Okay.
Joe? Hello?
I'm sorry, Kath. They need me to see him. Kiss the kids goodnight for me, will you?
I will.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
Hey, Lieutenant.
How you doing? So what do we got?
Victim's a 39-year-old male by the name of Michael Drake. Stabbed once in the chest. EMTs rushed him off to the hospital.
When you receive a stab wound in the chest, there is a great possibility vital organs are involved. There's a further great possibility internal bleeding is involved.
Paramedics say he had a erratic heartbeat and shallow breathing. He's in critical condition.
Okay, so this is where medical found him, I assume.
Yes, sir.
The crime scene is denoted only by a very small amount of blood. Not unusual in a stab wound when only one wound apparently is inflicted.
There was no other physical evidence at the scene. There was no weapon found.
Anyone have any idea what happened?
It's a little unclear, but we have witnesses reporting there is a confrontation outside between the victim and some bar patrons that may have escalated.
Michael Drake got into some altercation with some biker type guys. The biker guys kind of follow him out, like maybe this isn't over.
Another witness reported that after the stabbing, 3 men fled the scene. 2 men in a black pickup with Arizona plates, the other on a motorcycle.
Okay.
If a suspect is on a motorcycle, the pursuit of him is very, very difficult.
A motorcycle, they can go places that I can't go in a police cruiser, and they're very hard to catch.
Apparently, the people in the pickup scooped up a small boy, maybe around 6 years old. Took him with them in the truck.
Anytime a child is involved in the possession of a suspect who is trying to escape custody, it makes it enormously more dangerous and enormously more difficult. The child's safety is everything. Children are innocent, adults are not.
All right, make sure all available patrol units are out looking for that truck.
Yes, sir.
As officers fan out across the city in search of the suspects, Kenda begins interviewing witnesses.
Hey,
How you doing?
Michael gonna make it?
Yeah, we don't know that just yet.
I hope he pulls through. Can't imagine this place without him.
Does Michael come here often?
It's one of my favorites. Always had a smile on his face.
Mike Drake was just a hard-working guy. He was sort of a freelance mover. When moving companies would have trucks coming in and out of town, they'd hire him. He was a regular at the bar and hadn't caused any problems or anything like that.
The Broncos making 3 Super Bowls in 4 years is crazy enough as it is. Ain't going nowhere this year. It's the law of averages.
I cannot wait to tell you. I told you so when Elway's throwing touchdowns in late January.
What can you tell with the stabbing itself? We believe that there were 3 people involved. Is that true?
I don't know, man. I was in here behind the bar. But a little earlier, I did see Mike get into it with this guy.
He said there was an exchange of heated words and profanity between our victim and the rider on the motorcycle, and that his 2 companions are not involved in that altercation.
I couldn't tell what they were shouting about, but after a couple minutes, it seemed like they were making peace. Maybe it went on out there in the parking lot. I don't know. Bikers are always looking for a reason to fight.
So this group of 3 guys, were they a member of any club? Maybe the Sons of Silence?
There are no other biker gangs in the area at that time other than the Sons of Silence. We had many confrontations with them over the years. They're in every business you can imagine. And they like to have their own area. They don't like to be interfered with. That's where most of the trouble begins.
We get SOS bikers in here all the time, and they weren't part of that. You know, I've never seen these guys before.
Were these guys alone? Was there anyone else with them?
Actually, they were with a woman, but she cleared out well before any of the chaos started.
So, where is this woman? It would certainly be nice to have her, since we don't know who she is, and we don't know who any of these people are, at least not yet.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Hey, you might want to talk to Scott outside. He was out there when it all broke down.
Thank you. You got a witness named Scott out here?
Yeah, right there. Scott Cardinal.
Bring him to him. Scott, I'm Lieutenant Kenda. So it's my understanding that you saw the whole thing, right?
Yeah, kind of. I was on my way back from buying a pack of smokes. That's when I came up on these 2 guys, and they were out in the parking lot just pushing and shoving and really about to get into it.
Hey, why don't you try taking some of my money and see what happens?
Look, I told you 5 times already. I didn't take it.
You got no respect.
Hey, look, man, I don't want no trouble.
It's too late for that.
He sees he has a knife, and now it has blood on the blade.
He tossed the knife, and that's when he took off on his bike.
What about the 2 friends?
One of his buddies ran over and grabbed the knife. That's when the 2 guys grabbed the little boy, and they just hauled ass in the same direction of the bike. I mean, I got part of the plate number. I gave it to one of your officers, but quite honestly, I think they're long gone.
We'll see about that.
The one thing a motorcycle cannot do is outrun Motorola. They cannot run a police radio. They can disappear in short order, but they can't continue to be disappeared. It's a matter of time before we have these people. We are searching for the individual on the motorcycle and his companions in a truck are involved in a stabbing incident in a biker bar. There's also a female who was with this group. We're very interested in finding her.
Thankfully, the search for the mystery woman is short-lived.
So I return to my office.
Lieutenant, this is Margie Daniels. She showed up shortly after you left. We figured that you'd want to talk to her. Please have a seat.
Margie Daniels is the mother of the child who's with these people.
So tell me what happened.
Well, I came back to the bar and the place was crawling with cops. My son Hunter was missing along with the guys I went there with.
So you know the men that were involved in the fight?
Yes, one of them is my brother.
So it turns out that Margie Daniels and this child are related to the motorcyclist. She says that's her brother, and his name is Gene Pack, but everybody knows him as Pac-Man.
Now, what about the other two guys you were with?
Steve and John, they're friends of ours.
She describes the other two individuals and names them as friends of her brother.
Okay, so who brought you to the bank shot? Are you regulars there?
No, actually, we're from Arizona. We were on our way home, coming back from the rally up in Sturgis.
Margie Daniels explains they'd been to Sturgis in the Dakotas for the Harley-Davidson rally. They'd been there for a week. Sturgis can have as many as 500,000 people show up. It is a huge thing.
You have people that go there that just want to party and have a good time, and you get people that go there that want to party and find trouble.
Is your brother's friends affiliated with any bike club or gang?
No, definitely not. We just ride for fun.
So why stop off at the Springs?
Well, we've been driving all day and we were tired and we decided to stop and get a drink and just relax for a couple hours.
She says they're not familiar with the Springs, but they know a biker bar when they see one.
So then we go in there and my brother Gene starts arguing with this guy.
About what?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
So close. I said don't. Just stop bothering me. Your Uncle Gene's half drunk and he's about to start sleeping. What are you talking about? Get out of my face.
She's concerned because she knows her brother is extremely hot-headed and he's much worse when he drinks. So she's worried this is going to be bad.
Steve, go over there and get him out of there.
What kind of a takes money to get him out of here?
Tron, get out of my face.
What'd you do with it? Get off of me, man!
Hey, man, listen to your buddy. I got no beef with you.
Come on, whatever. Give me another beer.
At this point, Gene, calm, he goes back to his drink. Gene goes back to his. And Margie says she's relieved. And she walks out of the bar and goes and buys her merchandise.
And then I came back and that's when the cops told me a guy had been stabbed. I had a bad feeling my brother was involved.
Her story matches very nicely to everything the witnesses say. There were two arguments. The first argument got settled, the second argument didn't. But she wasn't present for the second argument.
I didn't think he'd ever stab somebody like that. But sometimes when he gets a few drinks in him, his temper can get pretty out of control.
The more I learn about Pac, my concern is he is volatile, he is dangerous, he's instinctually assaultive, and he may not survive a felony stop.
Listen, I love my brother, but at this point I just want my son back. I don't want anything bad to happen to him.
She knows that he's with Steve and John, but she doesn't know where they are.
You feel the same way. I'll start taking you to the lobby. You can wait there and we'll let you know what we find out.
Okay. Thank you.
If we recover this kid, we want to be able to give him to his mother. So she waits.
As Kenda considers his next move, he receives word from officers in the field.
It's Kenda.
Sir, we have eyes on our suspect on I-25.
Are you sure it's him?
No doubt. They're saying he's got long hair with Arizona plates. Officer Spitzmiller is in pursuit.
Okay, go ahead and make the arrest.
10-4.
Officer Spitzmiller will pick a place that's advantageous to him to conduct this felony stop on the motorcycle, hoping that the suspect will just pull over and surrender peacefully. But he's going to have a contingency plan in place just in case he decides he's going to flee officers.
He just stabbed somebody. He's going to be hyped up. So they have to take that into consideration.
Eventually, he stops. He doesn't run.
Shut off the bike!
The assumption is he is armed and therefore dangerous.
Park that thing! Get off of it!
The officers got a 12-gauge shotgun with shells of double-aught buckshot. If they are used, the person on the receiving end will be dead.
Shut it off! Do it now!
Dolly stops are very serious about it. So we shall see how this ends up. If these people are willing to stab someone in the parking lot of a bar, what else are they willing to do? We are investigating a stabbing at a biker bar. We have information about who perpetrated this crime. 2 different vehicles, one a motorcycle, one a pickup truck. As a result of our pursuit on the interstate highway, we have now found the driver of the motorcycle.
Shut it off! Shut the bike off! Turn it off now! Park it! Get off of it! Park it and get off of it now! Keep your hands where I can see them!
Hey, I was there, man, but I didn't do anything!
He says, trust me, I didn't do it. Well, we're the police. We don't trust anyone.
Face away from me. Do it now. Turn around right now. Keep coming. Stop right there.
Come on, man.
Drop down to your knees. Drop down to your belly.
Once the suspect is prone out on the ground, Officer Spitzmiller has the position of advantage on him.
Don't move. Okay, roll over. Snap.
Come on, man. I want a lawyer.
We'll get you one. Get in.
With Gene Pack, aka Pac-Man, in cuffs, officers intensify their hunt for the 2 remaining suspects and the missing child, 5-year-old Hunter Daniels.
The officers find these guys at a gas station. They need gas to get back to Arizona. Something they probably should have thought about earlier.
Driver, put the nozzle down. Do it now.
What the hell you want?
Put the nozzle down.
Man, this
Turn around. Do not look at me. Walk to the sound of my voice. Walk. Stop. Step out of the car, passenger. Do not look at me. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Keep walking backwards.
We're making a mistake.
Stop. Do not move.
That felony stop on the pickup truck, fortunately for all involved, goes very smoothly.
We didn't do nothing. Hey, buddy. What's your name?
Hunter?
Are you okay? Are you hurt? Let's go see your mom.
Hunter is safely rescued. He's taken to the police station.
Mommy! Hunter! Oh my God!
He runs up to Margie. He's happy to see her.
Okay.
We would like to speak to this child as to what he knows about this incident.
Can you tell us what happened today?
A man took my money, and Unky asked for it back.
Unky? It's my brother. Hunter calls him Unky instead of Uncle.
He hit him with a knife.
He said Unky stabbed him. Then he said Unky ran and threw his knife, but Steve picked it up and we left. and Steve threw the knife out the window somewhere.
Hunter, you said a man took your money. How much did he take?
All of it.
Why would you take money from a child? So the nature of this disturbance still isn't very clear. The only other person that knows the details of this is our victim. He's our only hope to get to the bottom of this allegation of the theft of money.
We would love to be able to talk to Michael Drake, but we know that he's in critical unstable condition.
Hey, Doc. How's he doing?
Mr. Drake's gonna survive. Surgery went remarkably well. About the best you could hope for, really.
The surgeon said the knife wound missed his heart by a quarter of an inch. A quarter of an inch to the right, and he would have been dead.
He's recovering and alert, so you can talk to him, but keep it short, please.
Yeah, we will. Thank you. Mr. Drake, I'm Lieutenant Kenda. How you doing?
I've been better.
Can you tell us what happened?
Still a little hazy, but I can remember most of the details. I was in there sitting at the bar having a drink, and there was this kid who kept trying to get the bartender's attention.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Sir, I need some quarters. Sir.
What you need, little man? Games, and he wouldn't shut up about it.
The kid wants to play a machine in the bar. He has 5 nickels, but he doesn't have a quarter.
Okay, let me see what I got. Oh, here you go, buddy. Here you go, I'll trade you a quarter for your 5 nickels.
Mr. Drake takes the 5 nickels, but maybe the kid doesn't understand. Now he has 1 coin and he had 5.
1 replacing 5? That doesn't make a lot of sense in a kid's mind. So it's confusing to him.
I thought I was doing the kid a favor.
Can I have more money?
What? What happened to the money I just gave you?
That man took my money.
What? What man? That guy right there?
The trouble is that he's got a few drinks in him, and Unky has got a temper with a fuse less than a quarter inch in length.
Hey! Oh! What kind of a rat takes money from a little kid?
All of a sudden, this biker comes up to me and starts chewing me out. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the money.
Get out of my face.
What'd you do with the money I gave you?
Look, I don't have any problem. I told him that I just gave him a quarter for the kid's 5 nickels, but he wouldn't have any of it. Just let me buy you a drink.
You got a problem with me, buddy. Wait. Get off of me, man!
According to Michael Drake, after that, everything seemed fine until he left the bar to head home.
Glad to see you chilled out. Have a good night, buddy.
Dean was unwilling to let this go. He was fuming with rage. So when Drake left the bar, he snapped.
Hey! Where do you think you're going? Hey, why don't you come try to take some of my money and see what happens?
Look, man, I told you 5 times already. I didn't take it.
You ain't got no respect.
I don't want any trouble, all right?
Too late for that, mother. Oh, hell. You gotta go, man. You gotta go.
Mr. Pack is responding to his primal instincts, which is violence. So now it all fits together.
It all happened so fast. I remember falling on the street, and then I guess I must have blacked out.
Well, it looks like you're gonna be all right. You're a lucky man.
Tell me about it.
You take care of yourself.
I will, thanks.
Although Michael Drake will recover, his attacker still faces serious charges.
Gene Pack was ultimately convicted of first-degree assault. He He served 8 years in the Colorado State Prison System, and his 2 buddies, the charges were ultimately dropped against them.
So Mr. Drake almost loses his life because he's making change for a 5-year-old kid. This is the reality of violence on the street. It's not like the movies where you have $1 million motive. It's over 25 cents. It's over violent personalities. It's over the availability of weapons. And mix a little alcohol in, and guys like me show up.
Coming up, a violent shooting leaves Kenda questioning the killer's state of mind.
Was he having a psychotic episode when this holiday? That's what we're here to find out.
I thought I had a good grip on him, but he started turning his body to the right. I overcompensated, started to slip. Next thing you know, I'm on my back staring up at the rafters. But the bull, he kept bucking, and his hooves kept getting closer and closer to my face. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Most police officers I know have some passion outside of the job. I like to play golf. Larry Martin likes to play golf as well, but he's also an avid bull rider. And he's very interested in rodeo and has competed all his life.
Once you sit down on a bull in a chute and you're getting prepared for that ride, the cases that you've been working on, you're not thinking of any of those. You're just thinking about that ride that's about to happen.
Anyway, the rodeo clown wouldn't have distracted him. He would have crushed my head like a melon.
So this is how you like to spend your free time, getting trampled by a 2,000-pound bull.
You should give it a try sometime. Hey, I'll even lend you a pair of chaps.
I'll pass, thanks.
We were just having a fun time. And all of a sudden, Joe's pager goes off. See you, Joe.
All right, I'm out of here. Okay, good luck, buddy. Thanks. Hey, I'll be here. All right.
I am told there's a shooting on Mountain View Lane. When I arrive at this complex, Detective Walker is already on the scene.
Hey, Walker. So what do we got? Victim is 39-year-old Jim Ross. The paramedics say he took 8 or 9 bullets, so not surprising, he didn't make it. He was pronounced DOA at the hospital.
Jim was a very nice, kind man, very helpful, would help anybody that he could.
He had several bullet holes in his body, and where he was hit, he would have definitely went down on 2 or 3 shots. Any witnesses? Yeah, his roommate, Dennis Michaels, he called 911. Okay. And he confessed to being the shooter. Problem is, he claims it was self-defense. I'm not so sure.
If you are the person responsible for ending someone's days, the first thing you're going to think of to say to the police when they arrive is, I had no choice. It was self-defense.
What's he say happened? He says that the victim came at him with a knife inside their apartment. Problem is, we can't find any evidence of a knife.
I asked Walker, have you looked? Oh, we've looked. We've looked in the parking lot, we've looked in the apartment, and several officers have assisted him in the search.
So where's the shooter now? Sent him to the hospital with another officer. When you arrived, I was about to call the station, do a background check on the guy. Hey, why don't you go ahead and do that? I'm gonna meet you inside the apartment. You got it.
When I walk up into the crime scene itself, I see a serious bloodstain on the balcony. This is the location where the victim was found.
Hi, Lieutenant.
Good. How many shell cases did they find in the parking lot?
About 15.
It's obviously clear that Dennis Michaels was serious about putting Jim Ross down for the count.
And everything started in there?
Yes, sir.
I'll give you a minute.
Yes. When someone's been drinking and they're bleeding, you can smell the alcohol emanating from the bloodstain. So we know Ross has been drinking.
Hello.
There is a rifle laying on the floor in the apartment, and it has a 30-round extended magazine. is a leather sheath to a knife, also laying on the floor, containing no knife. Whatever knife is in there is an impressive blade.
We don't know where the knife is, correct?
No, sir, but we're still looking. Hey, Lieutenant, got some information on our shooter, Dennis Michaels. He was working at the Air Force Academy, former Army. He was recently let go for medical reasons.
Dennis worked for the Air Force Academy as a maintenance worker. Medical reasons? Anything specific?
Don't know. We can find out in the morning when someone gets into the office.
You said you sent him to the hospital for some tests. So let's see what he has to say. How you doing?
Sir,
So what are the doctors saying? Are there any signs of trauma or injury on Dennis's body?
I just spoke to the doctor a few minutes ago. There's nothing on him. He's clean as a whistle. Blood alcohol test isn't back yet, but he seems pretty coherent to me.
We're gonna see what he has to say about all this.
When we walk in this room, I'm hoping to get a read on Mr. Michaels.
Mr. Michaels, we're the Colorado Springs Police Department. It's been explained to us that you claim self-defense in the shooting at Jim Ross. We just have a few questions about your account.
Like what?
When we see him, he's calm and quiet. He's not showing any emotion. He's giving very little away.
Like what happened to the knife that your friend supposedly threatened you with?
I got rid of it. I don't know where it went.
You're gonna have to be a little more specific than that. What'd you do with the knife?
You know what? I think I want a lawyer.
All right, that's your choice. But you're not going home.
I said, you are in custody by your own admission. You have killed Mr. Jim Ross, and we are going to determine the nature of that event. Call your attorney when we arrive at the next building.
Let me ask you a question. When you get back to the station, would you be willing to take a polygraph test?
I have no faith in the scientific nature of polygraph. What I do have faith in is human reaction to the question, but has a technical aspect to it in terms of me getting a drift of his truthfulness.
It would just be about your initial statements to the police, and that's it. What do you think?
I'd be fine with that as long as my lawyer can be there.
All right, good. We'll see you there.
It was very immediate and very calm. Indication being truthful, that he believed he was acting in his own defense.
You should bring him to us as soon as he's released.
Yes, sir.
The following morning, Kenda and Dennis Michaels' attorney observe while the polygraph technician administers the test.
Are you sitting in a chair?
Yes.
Did you confront the guy you shot?
No.
Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Thanks for coming in.
Within the hour, the results are in.
I can tell you without a doubt he's been very deceptive.
Really?
Polygraph has said he was lying about everything, including his name.
Thank you.
So we're learning a lot, but we still have a long way to go here before we can make a decision.
Lieutenant,
What's up?
remember when I told you that Dennis Michaels was let go from the Air Force Academy for medical reasons?
Yes?
I just got off the phone with someone from the Academy. You're not going to believe why they let him go.
Well, what, pray tell, could possibly be the reason? And how exactly does it impact this case? I'm all ears, Detective Walker. We're investigating the shooting death of Jim Ross by his roommate, Dennis Michaels, who is claiming self-defense. And I've just been told by Detective the Army for a very disturbing reason.
He was apparently diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Well, that certainly changes things, doesn't it?
Schizophrenia is a very severe mental illness. It can have symptoms of anything from having delusions and hallucinations to an inability to think in a logical and coherent way. If it's treated, its symptoms can fall away. If it's not treated, its symptoms can become very severe.
You're disgusting, Dennis. You are one of those bad cheese. You're worthless. Stop watching, Dennis. Stop it. You're watching, Dennis.
after you.
So the fact that you put this guy in a polygraph machine and he fills his own identity question isn't too surprising considering he's psychotic. He doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie.
We thought that maybe because of his mental illness, the things that he said Jim didn't happen, that he only imagined them.
While Dennis's mental state raises questions, the detectives soon discover that their victim had his own set of problems.
And there's something else. It's in your office. Come take a look. So what's this? Did some digging into Jim Ross's background. Turns out he has a record. Some domestic violence with his ex-wife, Bobby. So what's in the box? Some evidence when he was arrested got this from the storage locker, including this.
He pulls out a plastic bag containing a Bowie knife.
Well, that knife's way too big to fit the empty sheets we found at the apartment.
Yeah, I know. We also found an address for his ex-wife. Might be worth checking out, see what we can find out about him.
Now let's do that. If Ross had one knife, maybe Dennis wasn't imagining anything after all.
Knives are scary things. And the one in this bag is enough to cut your head off with. What else does he have?
Jim and I had an on-again, off-again relationship, but through it all, we stayed pretty close.
My mom and him divorced, but they still kept a really good, close relationship with each other. That's just the type of person that my mom was, and that's the type of person that Jim was.
How about his relationship with Dennis? They were roommates, right?
Yeah, and they were good friends, but they had their problems. They had a strained relationship, but this?
Bobby says that Dennis had told him he wanted his stuff out of the apartment by the end of the month.
We understand there was a domestic violence incident not too long ago. What exactly happened?
Jim got really upset and started screaming at me.
He did have that abusive side to him, unfortunately, when he drank too much.
What did you say to me?
She said he had a habit of throwing a sheath off the knife, and it'd give a flick of his wrist and expose the blade.
Okay, I'll go back to the store right now and get you whatever you want. Just put down the knife.
Do you know if he had any other knives besides that one?
Well, I know he bought another one after the police confiscated his, but I told him I didn't want it in the house anymore.
What did he end up doing with it?
I think he kept it at Dennis's apartment.
So there is more evidence that Dennis may have killed Jim in self-defense now.
We're very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
We'll let ourselves out. Now, we've got to find that knife. If it's there, Dennis's claim of self-defense makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, but we already searched that apartment top to bottom. We looked outside, the surrounding areas, nothing.
Maybe we'll have...
So we go back to the apartment in Mountview Lane.
All right, gentlemen. I want you to cover every inch of that ground. I want that knife.
I got some. What is it? It's a bag.
There is a knife. Large bladed, 10-inch, no blood on the knife, but it does fit the sheath found on the living room floor perfectly. We preserve it for fingerprints and take it from the field.
With the pieces of the puzzle coming together, Kenda is beginning to understand the sequence of events leading up to the shooting.
Look, Jim, I've told you over and over again. I can't have you getting drunk in my home. I want you out tonight.
Mr. Ross and Mr. Michaels are in a dispute. They argue. It becomes heated.
You want me out, big man? That's what you want? That's what you want?
Yeah, that's what I want, Jim.
He goes into another room and he comes back with a knife.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Is this what you want, Dennis?
Hey, Jim, listen. You don't have to do this.
Put it down.
Mr. Michaels is frightened and reasonably should be. It's obvious Mr. Ross intends to stick that knife all the way through Mr. Michaels.
You want me out on the street? I thought we were friends. Damn it, Jim, stop it.
Mr. Michaels picks up a rifle. He is retreating from the presence of Mr. Ross, who is advancing toward him.
I mean it. Put it down, please. You wanted me out. You want me to live on the street. You know, friend, you son of a bitch. Stop the damn knife, damn you.
And then he starts blasting. He perforates Mr. Ross until he collapses and dies. It is a classic case of self-defense. In the military, you are trained to not assume the enemy is dead because you have shot him. So he grabs that knife and tosses it. And because of the emotion of the moment, he does more than toss it, he wings it.
Why did you make me do it, Jim?
To lose somebody in a violent way like that, it puts you in shock. He did have that bad side of him about his alcohol. He just unfortunately had a few downfalls and it got the best of him.
As for Dennis Michaels, a psychiatric evaluation determines his history of schizophrenia played no part in what happened.
Okay, Mr. Michaels, we've reviewed the case. We're dropping all the charges.
Thank you.
The district attorney, the prosecutor of the jurisdiction, elected not to pursue criminal charges and entered a finding of self-defense.
Good luck.
There are occasions when your technique of threatening people encounters exactly the wrong guy. Mr. Ross found that out. He threatened Mr. Michaels and died for it.